Bunny back in the box.
Say something, I'm giving up on you. And I'll be Nic Cage if you want me to.
Oy vey.
Oy vey. Oh, hello. Welcome, everybody,
Hi.
to We Gauge Cage, the podcast where we interrupt each other and cut each other off and argue over who watched the movie better. No, actually, welcome everybody to We Gauge Cage, the podcast where we watch all of Nicolas Cage's films in an effort to determine whether or not he is actually a good actor. Because we don't really know.
Nope.
I am Brock.
I'm Brian.
And this week, we watched Nic Cage's film from 2017 called Arsenal.
We're going to jump into it?
Yeah. Well, we're just going to say like what we watched. We watched Arsenal.
Okay. We watched Arsenal.
And that's that. Okay.
Hey,
see you next week, everybody. No.
Dude, we're twinsies.
See? We're on the same page. See how much better this works? All right. So, yeah, right off the bat, we are going to try to do a better job of listening. I recognize that I'm not a great listener.
Oh, stop. Why are you apologizing for this? It's fine.
Is it fine?
Dude, this is who we are. If people don't like it, they can turn us off, but not before they rate us and tell everyone they know about us.
Please, everybody, rate and 5 stars. 5 stars. It gets us noticed.
You know what I'm apparently more like upset about is that my wife says I'm bashing her on these podcasts.
I don't think you're bashing her.
I don't think so either. She's like, well, first of all, this is a little bashing, but she finally decided to listen.
First of all, here she is, just complaining and whining.
Hey, she finally listened. No, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, she finally listened.
She's like, oh, Brian, Brock's calling his wife beautiful, and all you do is say that I like dumb teen mom, and you made me force you to watch One Tree Hill. And it's like, well, those things happen.
I'm sure she loves that portrayal and that impression.
I can call her beautiful because she is beautiful.
For everybody listening, Leah did not just walk into the room. That was actually Brian. Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, spot on impression. But that was actually not Leah. That was still Brian. But the voice work that you come with is just top notch.
I love my wife. She shouldn't need me making a podcast to know that.
This podcast is a love letter to our wives.
Exactly.
No, I kind of think though that like it might be too early right now, but like eventually if this podcast picks up any steam aside from our moms, like pretty soon there's going to be like some fan bases that split off. Like people are going to definitely like, I think, one of us more than the other and start taking sides.
The ones that are going to like me are the ones that like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Because again, this is like the 4th time I've gotten told I sound like Charlie Day.
Charlie Day, he's got a podcast, you guys.
These aren't people that know each other. These aren't people that know me. Like I was down at a work conference, and this is a girl I hadn't met. It's a new person to our office.
I don't like that you're meeting other women.
What's that?
I don't like that you're meeting other women. This is starting out as a terrible story right off the bat. Keep going.
Anyway, she actually said she wanted to like record my voice so she could play it for her 24-year-old daughter because I sounded so much like Charlie Day.
This story took so many twists and turns.
And I didn't know what to say. I got embarrassed. Like a guy who has a podcast who's cutting off his best friend all the time gets embarrassed.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So did you let her record your voice?
I think so. I think she got something.
And what'd you say?
I don't remember, man.
You said...
Probably said, good luck with your balls.
Good luck with your balls!
Which people love.
Yeah,
people
so...
like good luck with your balls. GLWB.
Yeah,
what is it? GLYWB?
WYB. But yeah. So is that our legacy? So good luck with your balls started. Brian and I I think probably from when we used to play Madden online with each other. Truly.
The ball person started it.
It was like the origin.
That's you.
Yeah, the origin of that phrase. And it probably, or maybe it was just because I used to like always have my zipper down when we would go out.
Used to?
Hey, I'm getting better. I'm
what was
married
that snap?
now.
What was that Snapchat I received the other day?
That was a gift. Okay, that was your birthday present.
Why did you send me that?
Oh boy, let me think. It could have been any number of reasons. Because I think you said something about my football team, which I'm not even gonna address. Okay, it's still a little too fresh. No.
You were so happy. What happened?
No. I refuse. I refuse.
It was
I refuse.
crazy.
That
was a crazy game.
It was a crazy game. Anyway, you said something about my football team, so I gave you that. Anyway, so good luck with your balls started as just a salutation from one bro to the next. Instead of, saying goodbye or I'll see you later or keep it hanging, we would say good luck with your balls.
Yeah, and on our first podcast, we really didn't have a sign-off, so I said it because we say it.
Yeah.
And then I came up with the idea after that podcast. I was like, oh, maybe we should have a pun to, close this out. And apparently people don't like those. They want good luck with your balls, so I think we got to bring it back.
Yeah. So,
it's a lot easier for us, too. Then we don't have to, come up with a song at the beginning and a pun at the end.
Yeah. I mean, Star Wars has May the Force be with you. Star Trek has, live long and prosper. I mean, for the millennials out there, they have may the odds be ever in your favor, and we have good luck with your balls.
With your balls.
So, if there's one thing that's gonna outlive us, it is our catchphrase. So,
yeah, when we get T-shirts, I just want good luck with your balls.
Good luck with
right
your balls.
there on everyone's chesticles. Mm-hmm. Truly chesticles.
All right. Hey, but yeah. So,
hey, do you want to talk about this movie at all?
Do we have to?
Can I ask you something?
You absolutely.
Just how did this movie meet your expectations? What were your expectations with this movie? Maybe I should ask that. What were your expectations with the film called Arsenal, released last year, starring Eddie King from Deadfall as a prequel? But recorded 25 years later. Made 25 years later.
We talked about it at the end of the last podcast. We were excited. We were genuinely excited because we thought this was... like I said, I didn't know. I was like, oh, it's a prequel sequel, right? I thought this was Eddie King back, but before he got hooked up with Uncle whatever his face is. I can't
Uncle Rico.
Remember. Uncle Rico. And oh, he's still a con man. He's still at it. He hasn't died yet. And it's just going to be more craziness. They're just going to show us how he got to be the way he was. And
further, lending itself to that theory is that when you see the movie posters, he's got the hair. He's got the mustache. He's got the weird look.
Yes.
It is Eddie King.
So you're thinking... oh, okay, 25 years later, but it's a wig and a mustache. You can hide a lot with a wig and a mustache and a
no, you can't.
Pair of sunglasses.
No, you can't. Good God, he looks so old, Brock.
Nope. Oh yeah, buddy.
He looks so old.
Nick, bud. I mean,
oh my God.
So. One thing though is
did you answer my question?
How did it live up to expectations?
Well, what were your expectations?
My expectations were that this was going to be. I mean, it is a 4 out of 10. I thought that it was going to be a decent action thriller movie with an over the top Nic Cage who was just letting it all out there. And
did you get it?
Nope.
Okay. Great, because I am out of our... How many movies is this now? Is this our 5th one?
Yeah.
Wow, we're moving up. Out of our 5 movies, I think Wicker Man still disappoints me more than this one. But I think our ratings fucked us, man. Like, I think having Deadfall so low ruined some of these other movies, because I would not have hated Wicker Man as badly because Deadfall was so bad it was good. I think Deadfall made me too excited for Arsenal. And then also, our next movie is Ghost Rider 2, so we're getting to watch, like, I'm not going to know what the hell's going on because we don't get to watch the first Ghost Rider, so our rankings are just screwing us left and right.
Oh, and we have like 10 movies between Ghost Rider 2 and the original Ghost Rider.
It's going to be kind of interesting to do it that way, but I think Deadfall ruined a lot of this stuff.
Because we have not seen Ghost Rider or Ghost Rider 2. Like, neither of us, right? At all. I've not seen any scene from Ghost Rider. So I don't know anything about the story. I've not read a comic. Anyway. But, like, I would rather watch Ghost Rider 2 before Ghost Rider than have watched this steaming pile of shoe than before watching Deadfall. I'm glad that we watched Deadfall because Deadfall like gave us such a frame of reference to go forward with, and it was like getting your dessert first. It was like going to a restaurant, sitting down, and they were like, "Hey, guess what, man? We got like, look, you're gonna have like some real undercooked like chicken coming up, but you can have a brownie." As long as, like, you get through that undercooked chicken, you can eat this brownie. And so we got our brownie. And, like, the brownie wasn't great. Like,
it was from Kid Cuisine.
Yeah, the brownie.
It was from Kid's Cuisine or whatever.
The brownie was like a heated up, like, pile of mush. But it was brownie flavored. So, like, then they were like, you know what? We're going to sprinkle a little bit of that brownie stuff that you like so much. We're going to mix it in with this chicken. And we were like, oh, fantastic. I like that stuff. So that's what this film is. It is a brownie infused undercooked chicken breast.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you see who the top 2 billed people are in this film?
Yes, I did.
Who are they? It
is Nicolas Cage
and
John Cusack.
And how much screen time did those two have in this movie?
Total, in an hour
combined,
and 37-minute movie, I would give them approximately 18 minutes combined.
I was saying 17.
Oh, okay. Close.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. We get a little snippet of Nic Cage at the start. We don't see him again until 31 minutes in. This movie sucked.
This movie sucked.
F this S.
F it.
I don't know. Where do you even want to start with? First of all, we got Entourage. He's in this.
So Adrian Grenier?
I don't know. I call him Entourage.
Yeah. Vincent Chase. Vinny Chase is in this movie.
He's a younger brother. His name is JP. The older brother is Mikey. And I don't know who the actor is, but I think every time I saw him on screen, I just thought Joe Manganiello.
Bobo Joe Manganiello.
From Magic Mike.
From Magic Mike, from True Blood.
That's who I just kept looking at. Like, that's Joe Manganiello.
Yeah. It's Bobo Joe. I called him Bobo Joe in my notes.
So he's you also thought Joe Manganiello?
Oh yeah, I got a note that says Bobo Joe Manganiello. Bobo is like what you use like when it's like not quite like a knockoff version of an actor. Yeah.
I looked him up. Apparently he got super jacked. Because again, I like reading the IMDb reviews. I said I wasn't going to do that a long time ago, but I think it actually helps me learn some things. And apparently he got jacked, and now he looks like Joe Manganiello. Because someone said, like, when did so and so get so jacked?
Do you know who out of our friends I've always found looks like Joe Manganiello?
This is good for our podcast listeners.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Josh Vollmer. Shout out to Josh Vollmer. I've always thought that Josh Vollmer... So this guy kind of looks like Josh Vollmer. Maybe it was Josh Vollmer.
Yeah. What celebrity do I look like for all the people who don't know me?
Brian Ambrosius.
I've said in the past that I thought Jonah Hill could portray you in a movie, and you were like super offended, but he's super skinny now.
Oh, thanks. So, skinny Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Like not like the fattest Jonah Hill, not like the skinniest Jonah Hill, but like like that Jonah Hill, like this is the end Jonah Hill. Like,
well, you got like super offended when I said that, and it's just like, I don't know, he can pull it off.
Well, yeah, because as a fat man, like when people
He's
are like
not fat.
trying to search through like actors to play you, and they're like, Kevin James, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Kevin James. So
anywho, so yeah. Those are the people that are in it. It starts out.
Yep. And so sorry, John Cusack as Sal, their buddy Sal.
Who? Why? Why is he in this movie? What did John Cusack provide to this film?
I don't know. It is apparently the third movie that John Cusack and Nic Cage have done together. Because I was expecting Con Air team up ×2.
Why is he in this?
And again, nope. Why is he in this?
Why?
He money. I don't
Stupid.
know.
Apparently they paid him the budget was $10 million on this.
Yeah, guys, guess
what?
what?
Same as Deadfall.
Guess what? We get to lose $10 million again. Yay! Except I know where this money went. This money went to fake blood and slow motion.
Yes. Dude, we gotta talk about my favorite shot at the end there.
Oh, of course.
I know you know.
Oh, I know. I've been saving it.
What happens is for the first 8 minutes, it's just them as kids. It's JP and Mickey as kids.
Mikey.
What's that?
Mikey.
Oh yeah, sorry, Mikey.
Okay, can I just slow it down? Can I slow it down real quick? Can you please try to get the characters' names right? They're different enough so that you shouldn't switch them up. Look down at your notes as much as you have to, but let's try to refer to the characters by their right names. Or by their actors' names, or you can call him Entourage if you need to.
I'm calling him Entourage.
There's only like 6 characters in this entire film that we care about. And Bobo Joe.
Brock, you could introduce me to a new friend of yours and walk away, and 5 minutes later, I don't know their name.
Yeah.
I write down their names at the top of my papers here now because I don't want to keep messing it up. I did that with Adam and Lucas last movie, and I still kept calling the kid Adam. And we were talking about,
and I tried to correct you like 6 times.
We talked about when Adam was like taking apart a gun. No, it was Lucas taking it apart.
Yeah.
So then when you listen to the podcast, it's like, well, what's the big deal if Adam knows about guns? It's like, no, that was supposed to be the kid.
Yeah, it was a kid, guys. I'm sorry.
Anywho, let's fly through this shit.
Okay, I can give you a 2-minute rundown, and it might not even take 2 minutes. Ready? So,
JP and Mikey are brothers. They have a friend Sal. They grew up without parents and without family. Mikey used to work and do odd jobs for Eddie King. Eddie King is a gangster, mobster, crime boss in the South, in Biloxi, Mississippi, roughly in that area. So they grew up, and Mikey was a bad boy, and he always wanted JP to do the right thing and grow up the right way. So, cut to 23 years later. JP has a successful business. He's an entrepreneur. He does construction or landscaping or something like that. Mikey is a troublemaker. He's always in and out of jail. He's a former Marine, and he's back in town after being away for a while, and he gets involved in a drug deal, and then he is kind of just in and out of trouble. JP's trying to kind of set him right. And eventually Mikey runs back into Eddie King. Eddie says, hey, you owe me some money, and we're going to set you up to where we're going to fake a kidnapping and make your brother JP pay for it. Mikey says no. Eddie kidnaps him anyway and holds him hostage, and JP has to figure out a way to come up with $350,000 to pay Mikey's ransom. And so JP all of a sudden turns hard and decides that he's going to kill every motherfucker between him and his brother Mikey because Mikey always looked out for him. And so he, guns up and goes and takes out all of Eddie's guys, including Eddie himself, and rescues Mikey and Mikey's daughter, who gets sprinkled in just for a little extra gravitas.
And the end.
That's not as fun. Let's start.
And they love baseball.
That's not as fun. Let's start from the beginning. First 8 minutes, it's the kids, and their uncle shot his brains out. So Joe Manganiello, Little Mikey, Joe in this case, he runs.
Little Bobo Joe walks in on the uncle after having just committed suicide. Brains are still dripping off of the walls.
Literally, guys.
Literally.
The gore in this movie is hostile.
Did we say fake blood? There's enough fake blood to fill a swimming pool in this movie.
Guys, he runs to a strip club. That's where Eddie King is. I got fucking excited. I was like, oh shit, is Baby gonna be here?
Wait, okay, I blinked and missed how all of a sudden he went from Uncle to Eddie. I really did miss that.
He rode his bike. I don't know who he was looking for or what.
Gotcha.
Must have maybe look. But here's the kicker, Brock. We get our first glimpse of Nic Cage. This is about 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He looks terrible.
Oh, so our very first intro to Nic Cage this time is Nic Cage, full wig, full mustache, sunglasses, baby. And he is beating a guy to death and swinging a baseball bat and mumbling with a cigarette in his mouth. I have no idea what he says the entire time.
I rewound it 8 times. Because it seems like he's saying a good line, and I rewound it like 8 times. I could not understand what the hell he is saying.
Nope. So right off the bat, we are ticking them away. We got mumbles, we got sunglasses. Anyway.
But he looks old.
Yeah.
Again.
No.
Okay, so he looks old. And get this, guys. Nic Cage looks that old. You cut to the next scene. 23 years later.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
I thought Eddie King was gonna be dead, and they were gonna have to keep flashing back or something. Because I was like, there's no way they can make Nic Cage go.
So we're
23 years
thinking
in the future.
like, okay, so does Eddie King just exist in flashbacks, right? And Emily was watching this movie with me again. Shout out Emily, I love you, my beautiful, beautiful, loving wife.
I love my wife.
You're the best thing that's ever
Oh
happened
my god,
to me,
I love
baby.
my wife. She is so.
You're the
great.
best. Can we just take a second and just love our wives?
Moment of silence.
For our wives. Okay, anyway, no silence. So, okay. So not only does Mikey witness his uncle, like, committing suicide, but then he witnesses Eddie beating a guy to death. And so, like, Eddie owns him now, essentially. So Eddie, like, gets to, like, have him do random odd jobs. And as kids, like, Mikey says, no, I work for Eddie now. Like, JP, you get to mow lawns. And they like playing baseball. That's it. But then again, cuts to 23 years later. So yeah, so we have to figure out now, like, is this the same Eddie King as Deadfall? Because that Eddie King, I mean, granted, Nick was what? It was 25 years ago, so he was only like 28 or so? Yeah, like, he couldn't have gotten to be this old back in Deadfall days. So right away, we're like, what is happening here?
So what did you think of his Eddie King performance? Where you, like, on that first little scene, it's only, guys, it's a minute maybe, and a lot of it's slow motion. Him, again, slow motion, blood shooting everywhere.
Yes.
What did you think of your first little bit of Nic Cage?
I mean,
were you excited? Were you like, oh my god, this is what I wanted?
No, it was just like a little taste. It was a little taste, but I was like, I know there has to be more. Like, I know there has to be more than that.
But his performance, like, were you like, this is exactly what I wanted? This is, he's honing it in. That's what I wanted.
Oh, no.
I didn't.
He was restrained.
He was very restrained. He was phoning it in.
Might as well have been the guy tied up in the chair.
He was phoning it in.
Yeah.
And he's moving his lips too much, man. Eddie King doesn't move his lips.
I mean, he's got to keep that top lip, like, showing off, and he's got to be smoking. I don't know how you smoke with your top. I don't know how you smoke with your top lip, like,
how
completely.
How do you pop pills?
Yeah. Oh, I really wanted him to just raw dog it right away. Just get it all out of the way right away. But
Brock, did he watch Deadfall before? Like, that's what I don't get. By the end of this movie, was he trying to be the character that he was in Deadfall? Like, did he even watch it to, like, prepare? What did he do?
Yes, because there are little sprinkled in references, I believe.
Oh, a couple. Yeah.
But, like, apparently
I'm so
he didn't.
Frustrated.
Apparently he didn't get the same bootleg copy that we did because he didn't watch it closely. No, I rented that shit. I paid $2.99.
Yes, you did.
He didn't.
Brock, I'm so frustrated with this film.
He didn't watch it closely enough. He should have listened to our podcast and picked up on what we loved.
I hated this movie. I'm gonna say that.
Okay. Let's get back to the notes. Okay, they got
very quickly. We get John Cusack. What did you think of John Cusack?
John Cusack pulls up with a do-rag on.
What did you think of him?
And I was like, "What is John Cusack?" So he's like, he's a friend from the beginning of the movie. Like, so he's a childhood friend that's grown up with them, and he just spouts some nonsense and then drives off. He says something about, like, how, like, he's... Okay, so, whatever. We'll just jump, because who gives a care? Who gives a care? I don't give a care.
This movie took forever to get going anyway. So
Sal is a cop. He's a plainclothes detective. So he...
Where did we get that?
It from the IMDb, honestly. You never get it from the movie. So he's a
didn't know he was a
plainclothes detective, yes, and he like has an inside bead on everything that goes on in this town. Like he knows about Mikey and his drug deals. He knows all of the bad guys. He knows all of the good guys. Like he knows everything. But he's mostly JP's friend, and so JP always goes to him for information. Okay.
He sucked. John Cusack sucked in that role.
At one point, John Cusack has a do-rag on, and he wears a do-rag. But he's also one that like has not taken the best roles recently. Anyway, his career path is also kind of in the same trajectory as Nick's. Okay, so
Bobo Joe gets a ton of cocaine. Is that what it is?
gets a whole bunch of cocaine and then gets robbed, and then
And here's what I said to that part. Because they came in guns blazing. Or Joe saw that the intruder had a gun. So he grabs a knife. And in my head, I'm like, oh, they say never take a knife to a gunfight. Unless you're going to slit that mother effer's wrist.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what he did.
slits the guy's wrist, and then, like, as he's getting choked out, digs his fingers into the slit, so good for him.
Yeah.
And gets in a fight. He's a really good puncher. He is a fantastic puncher. If he had a superpower, it would be just, like, he'd be, like, one punch Bobo Joe.
Is this that part? I don't know. There's one part where he goes after a guy with a bat, and for how much he's hitting him,
He
there's
hits
no
him,
blood.
like, 12 times, and the dude is fine.
There's no blood. Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy doesn't have any marks on him. What?
I honestly thought it was a wiffle bat. Like,
For how many times? For how much they love the blood in this movie? I can't believe there wasn't any blood in that.
And guys, they love baseball, and it has been established that Joe can hit a ball out of the park. He's
Out of it.
super good at baseball. And
You know what's
super
kinda
good
funny
punching.
here?
And he's a
the guy
former
comes in-
Marine. Like, he's just... Bobo Joe, Mikey, is like the greatest human being on earth, but also a real piece of shit.
You know what's funny about this part is when the robbers ask Bobo Joe where the Coke is, he goes, "It's in the fridge."
Yeah.
Because it's Coca-Cola. But guys, the Coke was in there.
And he says, enough, like, wise guy, and he goes, no, it's in the crisper.
It's
And
in
it
the
was.
crisper. You got to keep that crack cocaine and you got to keep it crispy. Is that what? I don't even know. When they say Coke is cocaine, what's crack? I don't know.
It's a different, like, form of cocaine.
I don't do drugs.
You don't do enough drugs. It's because you're not cool. It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
What else happens here? I'm just looking. There's like nothing.
Okay. So at one point, JP gets into the tub. JP has a wife and a daughter. He gets in a tub fully clothed with jeans on. And I asked, why did he do that? And Emily says, very matter-of-factly, to be sexy. And I said, should I do that? And she said, no.
I said, jumping in clothed, knock that off. And then under that, I put another super long sex scene. Because at this point, I didn't know if we're trying to do like Deadfall or if we're trying to be in our own movie.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be Deadfall in this movie.
Wait, did she have clothes on?
No, she was naked.
Did you see anything?
Nah, we don't see titties.
Ah.
Brock, this is not Deadfall.
Yeah, and it takes place in a strip club and you don't see anything either. What is this movie? 2017, different times, man.
I hated it. So then, anyway, somehow, JP gets taken hostage. Or no, Bobo Joe gets taken hostage.
Mikey goes to the strip club and runs back into Eddie. So Eddie's back, and he does voices. He like mimics JP or whatever, and pronounces the word entrepreneur, which was funny. And then says Mikey owes him money. Blah 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 blah. I have JP drives a beautiful truck, which he does. He drives a beautiful truck. JP's doing well, and they estimate his net worth at $350,000.
This is our first real exposure to Nic Cage, and I have some notes about his performance.
Okay.
First of all, I know I've already dropped 2 F-bombs. Sorry, Mom. Here's another one, because in my notes it says, fucking finally, 31 minutes in, we get Nic Cage again.
Yep.
My notes say he's moving his lips too much.
Yep.
There's not enough laughing / yelling when he's snorting his Coke, because he just snorted it like normal.
He snorts coke like a regular person.
He's got his hamburger meat hanging out.
Yeah, he does.
He's
I find that's a real characteristic of a older, more mature Nic Cage is let's get that taco meat on point.
Is that another trope?
It may start becoming one.
Write it down. All his new movies.
All right.
And basically, I just said he's too normal.
Yeah. Well, like, he doesn't have particularly attractive chest hair.
No, but he's got it. That's why it's hamburger meat, man. If it was attractive, it'd be like...
Joe Manganiello. Joe Manganiello has a beautiful chest.
Wait, are you talking about Real Joe or Bobo Joe?
Both?
Brock, what else happens? I hated this movie, man. I couldn't even... I like, don't even remember.
So, JP wakes up to, like, a voice-modulated phone call from, I'm assuming, Eddie, but, like, his voice on the phone, even though it...
It's like, hey, you gotta give me anything.
But it sounds completely normal. And we know that when Eddie talked, Eddie could tell the dick, and you couldn't understand, I don't think he cares. But, like, instead, it's like...
Hey, bring me... your brother Mikey, I have him.
And it's like, that's not how Eddie talks. So, whatever.
He's got a good voice changer thing.
He's got a great voice modulator. So...
No, Brock, it's a voice changer thing.
Okay, yeah, that's a line from the movie. I don't
Is
know,
that?
he had like a voice changer thing. He
No,
calls
that's
it.
what I just said.
He calls it a voice changer thing. JP calls it a voice
Does he?
changer thing in the movie. He's talking to Sally and he goes, I don't know, he had like a voice changer thing or something. Okay, so at this point though, JP goes running around like trying to like figure out what's going on. And I put, can I take a breath please? Because it does take off from here. Like, he just goes driving his big, beautiful truck. It's like a big, beautiful GMC Sierra Denali, like, maroon. It's beautiful.
No, I saw you send me that Snapchat, and I was like, what part is he watching? No part of this movie is, like, action-y. Well, obviously there's action, but none of this, like, made me like, oh my god, I gotta catch my breath.
It was just, like everything was happening, though. This movie did not breathe, like, at all from that point on. Okay, so they say that Eddie has ties to New Orleans and New York, and at that point I was like, is this where Deadfall takes place? I did really like the Mohawk guy. I really like the Mohawk guy. I want to slow down.
Rusty?
No, Rusty was the dude who like
Locked him up.
Mikey. I don't know what his name was, but I really like him, and he's sexy. He's very smart. His name was Gus. I have it written down. He's just his actor's name is Tyler John Olson, and he's a hottie. So
I do not remember Mohawk Guy.
Oh,
Is
he
this
was
the guy
like
that helped out John Cusack?
Yeah, he was like the informant. He was super cool. Anyway, okay,
Guys, they're running around.
So,
Oh,
blah 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 blah. Who the heck cares? Because then we get to Buddy King. Everybody, Buddy King is Eddie King's brother. And
you know who that is?
Buddy King is Christopher Chrissy Coppola.
It is
the brother, the older brother of Nicolas Kim Coppola,
who directed Deadfall.
Correct. So, Nicolas Kim, by the way, Kim is Nicholas's middle name. It is Nicolas Kim Coppola.
I know.
And at first I was like, am I pronouncing it wrong? Because if I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time, so I actually had to look it up. In like Britain, they say Coppola or Coppola, but it's Coppola. It's Coppola.
It's
here.
Coppola over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Kim in his happy birthday song.
Yeah, we
Hey,
did.
shout out to 2018 for letting us sing happy birthday without having to pay money, huh?
Yeah,
That
cheers.
just happened in 2016.
Yeah, it's not copyrighted anymore, bitches.
That was very recent.
Yeah, it expired.
Brock, like we're big enough to have happy birthday come after us.
Hey, I forget like there was like an old family that used to own Happy Birthday. Sorry, we're like going off on so many tangents here.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, so Nicolas Kim Coppola's brother, Christopher Coppola, the director of Deadfall, is in this movie. He's a large man.
He's weird.
He's a large man. He also has the absolute worst fake beard and goatee that I have ever seen in a movie. Like, you think that Nick's is bad, and then you see Chris, and so I think Chris fully embraced, like, I see what we're doing here. I'm gonna one-up you. And he does. Like, he absolutely tries to one-up Nic Cage. Like, he has an even weirder and harder to place accent. He has worse facial hair, and he's doing a worse job at acting.
The one thing about Nic Cage that we haven't even talked about yet is you can see his fake nose.
Oh my God, you can see his fake nose. So again,
You can see the plaster or whatever. Like, he looks like a who, and you can just see where it doesn't match his skin.
Yeah, and like you can see where his nose ends and the fake nose begins. Absolutely.
There's one scene where like he pulls his head up and he looks like a who or something. You can see the whole crack where they added like an inch.
The plaster is.
Oh my God.
Oh, he was getting plastered.
So he has to shoot his brother for some reason. I forget why.
So
I really didn't care about this movie. Holy crap! This is the worst notes I've wrote yet.
Well, luckily for you, I paid attention. Okay. So Buddy King comes in and is like, you know what, little Nick or Eddie? He's like,
Nick.
He's like, you've been fucking around, man. Like, you're doing extortion now, kidnapping. That's not what this business is about. Like, we're drug dealers, so I got to take you out. And he takes him to like the back of the room. Yeah, and he's like gonna shoot Nic Cage. And so Nic Cage, this is what we came for. And I can't believe you like. I mean, I don't blame you for not taking notes because you must have been fully absorbed.
No,
because this is where we get I'm gonna lean back from the mic so that I can give it justice. Because this is where we get him, Nic Cage, going full Eddie King and going, "You're trying to kill me, man! You're trying to kill me!" And he turns the tables.
I didn't know what he was saying there. Oh, well, I knew what he was saying that, but then there's a line here where I don't know what he says, and then he goes, "Ooh, ah, fuck you!"
Oh, yeah.
But,
so we don't get a high fucking yeah. We get more of like a high flippin' yay. Like, it doesn't quite get to the levels, but he still knows karate.
And when Buddy made him turn around because he was going to shoot him in the back of the head, he goes, "What, are you going to fuck me first?"
Yeah. I mean, he's still Eddie King. So here's what I've come to accept.
It's so dumbed down. He's not giving it. He's phoning it in. That's my problem. I could tell he was just like, it was straining. He wasn't.
Correct.
Hated it.
Correct. Because he's not on as much cocaine. Like, he has not ingested enough drugs to get him through this movie. He cannot get back into that headspace. But here is my theory for Arsenal compared to Deadfall. We are living in the Eddie King multiverse. So this is not, guys, spoilers. This is not the same Eddie King as Deadfall. He's got the same name. He's got the same mannerisms. But it's not actually that Eddie King. Much like Marvel and like especially like the X-Men comics, right? So if you're a comic book fan or like a nerd, what you realize is that there's like different versions of like your favorite comic book characters. So there's a different version of like the X-Men universe, like for one of them, and then like, you know, there's like Earth like 23 and then Earth 67.
Right.
So we have Eddie King Deadfall and Eddie King Arsenal. And so this Eddie King is the drug dealer Eddie King, not the con man Eddie King. And so it's a completely different guy who got to grow up. And so I think Deadfall Eddie King is like the Eddie King that didn't get busted at 17 for jacking cars. And then he moved to California. Whereas this Eddie King is the Eddie King that got busted for selling cars or jacking cars at 17 and went to prison for 3 years, while Chrissy King, or Buddy King, his brother, like went and established this drug kingpin and then let Eddie take over when he got out of prison. That's the backstory that we get in this universe. Welcome to the multiverse.
I'll have to accept it because I just think that Nic Cage... I have something to say here. I think somehow, and I know we're judging him, and we're not supposed to have an answer yet, I think Nic Cage has somehow gotten worse at acting the more he's done it.
Do you think that Nic Cage doesn't care anymore?
All right, well, anyway, you know what I put for some of my notes? Because somehow, I don't remember how it happens, but Nic Cage ends up getting to beat up Buddy. he somehow turns it around.
Yeah.
And it's another slow motion fight. And my notes here say, maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Because his hair looks amazing during the slow motion. It's like just blowing through the wind.
If you can find a YouTube clip of just this scene, this is the only thing that you have to watch from this movie. We gave you like the Eddie King cut from the last movie. You are welcome. But this movie, all you need to watch is the Eddie King versus Buddy King fight scene. Because
this is at 53 minutes.
He beats Buddy King to death. He beats his brother to death using what, when he raises it, is an open, like slapped hand, like weird open, like slapping hand. But then he does somehow, I guess, get it into some sort of fist shape, or at least to the point where he beats to death his own brother, using just his bare hands.
But looking good.
Using the high F and ya. And yeah, the slow motion looks great. The blood, like when he punches him in the eye at one point, the blood literally just like squirts in a fountain at this like stereo, because it's playing like opera music the whole time too, which obviously. There's like a old boombox like playing, and the blood just squirts across it like so artistically. It looks great.
It looks like someone who was in college trying to make their movie look really cool.
Yeah, well, that's $10 million.
And they overdid the blood way too much. Like I remember one scene where Joe got punched, and literally it's just a stream of blood that spits out of his mouth. Anywho, so JP tells a coworker of his, like someone who he put in charge to like,
it's like his like
get the money,
manager, his foreman, basically.
And this guy took all the money from the business to make to try to fix up houses.
Put it in like a house or something. Yeah. So then JP like sends him to go get it back, and then he comes back with a neck brace for some reason. And then he says, did I do that to you? And he says, no, I did it to myself or something. I have no idea. It doesn't matter.
Did he fake the insurance, an insurance claim or something? Is that what I was to understand?
No, I think like he just went and got beat up for like asking for it back.
He didn't have any bruises.
I don't know. He just came back with a neck brace. It's not explained. That's not explained.
Is that how you get $350,000?
I guess, man.
You just wear a neck brace?
Sure. You trying to fucking kill me?
Nic Cage then goes back by Bobo Joe, and he tells him about a letter that he wrote him. I don't know if you wrote anything down.
Oh, I did. Dear buddy, sorry about today. I was 17. You set up the business in New Orleans with my money. You fucker.
My money. Dude, that's a Deadfall reference there.
You fucker.
Yep.
You're so lucky. Oh, he tells Mikey, you're so lucky because you have each other. He stresses lines like Voldemort stresses lines. About the Cadabra. Like he's like pooping and he's got to get it out. And then he says like, I just want to say like thank you. He's like, but I can't, because I killed him today. Love, Eddie. Like he does end it with love, Eddie.
After that, he comes back in by some other stuff might have happened. I don't know. He comes back in by Mikey, and he tells a weird story about Drano, about a mom who gave her kid Drano, and it like tore up his esophagus. And he puked black. And
so he comes into the room then and he says, you ever hear the story about the kid whose mom poured like Drano in a soda bottle, gave the kid...
Like he was spitting out moths from his mouth or something. Like something like... Yeah, it was very...
So he does this. I didn't do that just for your benefits. He does this.
That's exactly how it sounds. And then he tells him that story because he wanted... JP wanted proof that Mikey was still alive. So he basically said, like, if you tell him where we're at or something... like
give away any information, I'm going to feed you Drano.
Yeah.
I guess?
And so right at the end of it, Mikey says something like, hey... I'll buy you a video game or whatever.
We'll go play video games.
Because when they were younger...
On me.
What?
He says, "We'll go play video games on me."
And because when they were younger, they played video games. And Nic Cage goes, "Video games? Video games? You've always been a pussy." And I was sad about that because we talked about video games, and that means I'm a pussy.
We play video games.
It made me sad.
Yeah.
And he thinks I'm a pussy.
Well, you've always been.
Oh, this is where you really see the fake nose because he puts eye drops in, and like it's just. Anyway.
Okay, so.
Oh, this is where we start getting to the good stuff, man.
Okay, so.
The good slow motion shots.
So this is where I have Mikey is forming a relationship with a hard ass version of Bobo Sean William Scott. So Bobo Stifler. So there's like this guy looks like Sean William Scott if Sean William Scott got juiced and then did his hair in braids.
Who does this guy look like?
He looks like Stifler. He looks like Stifler.
No, there's someone in my head that I'm thinking of that. Wow. You know who he looks like? He kind of looks like the bully from A Christmas Story.
Yeah. But
not with the red hair.
Also kind of looks like Stifler.
Maybe. Anyway, a big ass fight gets out because JP frees Mikey and blah blah blah.
What?
There's shotgun.
What? No, you're skipping. You're skipping a bunch. Because at one point, John Cusack meets up with JP and he goes, "Fucking A, they're gonna kill you both." So like, John Cusack is an amazing detective because apropos of nothing, he figures it out. And it's almost like a body fell from the sky and told him the plot. Weird. It hit him like a body from the sky, like a ton of bricks, or like a body fell from the sky. It's okay. You'll get it. You'll get it in like 40 movies from now. You'll get it in like 50, 60 movies from now. It's okay.
What is that?
It's from Con Air.
Oh, okay.
In Con Air.
Is that what it was? Is that what the reference was?
Spoiler, yeah. There's a body that falls from the sky, and John Cusack gets to find it.
Dude, look at my beard. This is what I feel about this movie. Look at my beard. This is the longest I've ever had it.
Thank you, the listeners.
What do you think about it? I'm growing it out. It's a little chilly up here. I've been growing it out.
It does look amazing. That's why if you were going to have a celebrity doppelganger, it would be Nick Viall. Okay.
Who's that? Nick Vale from The Bachelor?
Nick Viall.
From The Bachelor. He never had a beard like this. That's BS.
So, anyway, another plot point of this is that Mikey has a daughter. She's a teenager. She's apparently supposed to be hot.
We're going to talk about that now? We're 49 minutes in.
And then she's got like a druggy boyfriend. Turns out druggy boyfriend is one of Eddie's guys. So she gets kidnapped too. That's all I just want to say, is that she also gets kidnapped. So at one point, like, Sal, John Cusack, asks Entourage, like, what are we going to do? And he says, what do? We raise the stakes. I don't know what that means, but then John Cusack also changes from a do-rag to a bandana. And I used to be a bandana guy, so yes, I did not appreciate his bandana. It's a bandana on a man, everybody, in case you couldn't make that connection. Anyway, okay, so then JP and Eddie arrange a meeting at a restaurant in public so they can talk. So this is where you see the fake nose and the eye drops, because like Eddie is just waxing philosophical to JP, saying like, "You're worth a lot of money, JP. You probably owe some of that to your brother for making sure you stayed on track." Which is like, no, he doesn't.
You're putting way more Deadfall accent in it than Nic Cage actually does.
Well,
Nic Cage just sounds kind of normal.
But yeah, but
here's the thing. Here's what I will say about Eddie King from Deadfall to Arsenal. In Deadfall, I did not catch a single ounce of Nic Cage. I would have never guessed that was Nic Cage. This one, there are times where I can hear Nic Cage's voice. Like, it's just normal talking voice.
Okay.
Because he's not putting it on as thick. That's what I wanted. I wanted thick Nic Cage. Thick Nick.
He wants that thick Nick, everybody.
Give me that thick Nick.
Give him that thick Nick. So first of all, like, why would JP owe his brother any money for making sure that he stayed on track? Like, JP did it. Mikey's the fuck up. Anyway, and then he says, You know the secret to a great Bloody Mary? You gotta have the right amount of Worcestershire to the right amount of celery. And then he puts
Is that true, by the way?
eye
That's
drops in, and then he says, JP, have you seen your niece recently? Like, that's his transition. He goes from, hey, you should give your brother money, to a great Bloody Mary recipe, to have you seen your niece recently? Now, yeah, is that true? I don't know. I'm not a Bloody Mary guy myself.
Me neither, but that's not true.
But Worcestershire?
I was just going to say, I don't even feel like people put Worcestershire.
And he is...
Wait, how do you say it? Worcestershire? Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Ben Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Ben Worcestershire.
Yes, Ben Worcestershire. Shout out to Ben Worcestershire. So, yeah, Ben, I gave you a shout out, okay? Ben? God! No, we're still not friends!
I don't think he listens.
Eh.
He probably doesn't have a phone that works long enough to listen.
Oh, Ben.
Poor guy.
I still don't forgive you, Ben. You know what you did. Anyway, so he asks about his niece and then basically tells him, like, hey, I kidnapped your niece, too. And then he drops another Deadfall reference because he says, I'm going to be hanging out at this billiards place. And I was like, oh, fuck. Are we going to go see Charlie Sheen? Is he still playing billiards?
I didn't catch that. I didn't realize that they were going to a billiards hall.
Well, he said he was, but he never actually gets there, I don't think. I don't freaking know. But then, also, okay, so in the first movie, like, or in some movie that we saw, it was like, I keep on bringing up, like, the concept of, like, Chekhov's gun, right? This whole, like, if you see a gun in the first act, it's gonna come up in the second act, right?
Correct.
So I'm like, okay. So in the plane movie, Left Behind, there literally was a Chekhov's gun, because we saw a gun and it was used again. In the last movie that we watched, with the Humanity Bureau, there was Chekhov's fly fishing rod, because I thought that it was going to literally, like, be used to save the day. And in this one, Chekhov's flashbang grenade. So Mikey, at the beginning of the movie, tries to pawn a flashbang grenade. And you're asking yourself, what does this have to do with anything else in the rest of the movie? And I'm like, oh, there's Chekhov's flashbang grenade. Somehow, that flashbang grenade is going to come up and come in handy. Well, so JP finally, like, says, you know what? We're going to take it to the next level. Sal, John Cusack, says, like, oh, no, you can't just kill people. Like, I'm a cop, and I'm telling you, you cannot just kill people. But JP doesn't give a shit. So he just goes in with, like, a pistol and a flashbang grenade. Spoiler alert. He puts it in, like, the briefcase full of money, or a backpack full of money, and then he brings it to Eddie. And he goes to the strip club. But first, somehow, he just gets through all the guys, finds Mikey, and is literally just like, hey, man, and unties him. Nothing happens between JP saying, I'm going to go get Mikey, and then JP arriving at Mikey and untying him. That's it.
Brock, I know.
And so
I don't have any notes about this.
Both brothers are
All
loose.
I have is awesome shotgun shots.
Both
heads literally getting blown off. Shots literally getting shot.
Shots literally
Did I
getting
say
shot.
shot?
Yes.
I meant crotches literally
No, you're going to spoil it. Don't spoil that.
I already did.
Save it.
Hey, this is just like when I was trying to do the bathroom thing. Hey, Brock, I'm ruining the crotch shot. Nah.
You're ruining the crotch shot. You were supposed to save that. Okay.
It's too bad.
So JP, like, has him open up the backpack, and the flashbang grenade goes what the
Flash bang grenade
goes
bang,
off.
Bang 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 the bang.
Bang 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 into bang 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 into your mouth. I got a bang bang into your mouth. Everybody wants to get shot in the dick. So
That's great.
So okay,
We gotta get done with this, man.
yeah.
Come on.
So JP grabs a gun and starts shooting. He turns into an action star, and
Slow motion.
and
All
everything
slow
is in slow motion. It's like 300. If 300 was on more steroids than 300 already was, and so everything's
More blood, yeah.
slow motion, and you can see the beads from the shotgun blast go directly
Right.
into a dude's ding dong,
Dick.
ding dong,
Right into
dinger
that
doodle,
dick.
right into his hang down.
Right into his sausage and beans.
Yes, there's a man for some reason like flying spread eagle through the air, and JP, like, the cardinal rule of a gunfight is you don't shoot a dude in the ween wang. And he shoots a dude in the dilly hopper. And we see it in slow motion.
It is
like
anaconda.
The 8 beads from the shotgun blast go straight to this dude's like
one-eyed snake.
Yeah. Like
right into his testes.
Oh yeah. The
but
gooch,
also
the taint.
Oh god, I said but also like 18 times last episode. Stop it. Anyway, but also there's one shot where the guy's head like literally explodes from a shotgun, like that shot right from the front of his forehead, and his brains just gush out.
Bobo Stifler's head, explodes from front to back because of the shotgun.
It's so slow and bloody.
Can you spell gratuitous?
I can't spell it.
Can you?
I have notes in here. Like at one point, I tried to spell tenacity. I'm pretty sure I spelled it wrong.
Can you spell gratuitous? It's gratuitous.
Gratuitous. Is it gonna be an A or not? A-T-I-O-U-S. Gratuitous. No, that was way off. Where did that I come from?
Samsonite. You were way off.
Brock, I didn't win a spelling bee. I won the math part of it, okay?
I did win the spelling bee, everybody, just so you know.
I can't spell. I never know when the E comes before the I. I never know when there's like a silent letter in there. What the hell?
Right. Okay, so I bet you guys are asking yourselves, shut the hell up, Brock and Brian. What happens to Eddie?
He dies!
Guys!
Again!
He gets shot twice,
Brock,
sits down on the bench, and says, "What do you have his last line of the movie?" I do. Because at this point, I have the subtitles on. Do you want to know his last line of the movie?
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't have it, because I can't understand him.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hey.
What?
That's it. Ready? Hey.
What?
It's just hey.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. He literally says, hey, like he's going to say something, but then JP walks up with a shotgun, and then, and it cuts to another barbecue. They had a barbecue earlier, guys. It cuts to another barbecue, and everybody's fine, and then they go and play baseball again.
Brock, this is 5 movies, and he's died in 4.
Yeah, he dies again. Okay, so...
Eddie King is dead twice.
All right, so we did it. We got under an hour. Damn,
hey,
baby. Okay, but...
Did he pop any pills?
Okay,
he snorted coke.
Wait. Let's go through the tropes. Sunglasses.
Check.
He did not raw dog any pills.
That is truly... I was hoping to keep that up there. I wanted that to be a high percentage.
There were flashbacks. He mumbles incoherently, which is just like his acting style. Less than a trope and more than an acting style.
We talked earlier, maybe he's on screen for 12 minutes. I maybe understood 6 of those minutes.
He yells and he repeats himself like a lot. So like at one point he yells and he repeats I have an example of like he says like, you owe me, I raised you to Mikey or somebody like that. He's got the taco meat out, which we're going to start tracking, and he dies. So, yes. He dies.
Also, I know my mom hated the first episode because I dropped so many of the F-bombs, but Nic Cage, he's dropped in an F-bomb in every movie so far.
He's potty mouth. I don't think he does it in Left Behind.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't he?
No, he doesn't. What's her face? Jordan Sparks, I think, says, I'm going to shoot you in the effing face.
Left Behind is about the only movie that doesn't fit a lot of these tropes.
Well, yeah, Left Behind's an anomaly.
We're 5 movies in now. What's your what's your least favorite one?
What's my least favorite movie?
Yeah, out of the 5 we've watched.
This one.
Is it?
This one is my least favorite movie. It is the least entertained that I've been, and it's just been like the most difficult to watch and like care and just like
Me too.
It looked okay. But it didn't need to be... I've said this a lot, I think, but it didn't need to be made. It just did not need to be a movie.
It could have been so amazing, but I agree. This is my least favorite one.
Yeah, it had potential. It had so much potential. But what it tried to do was so much of it could have just ended up on the cutting room floor. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It's a bad movie, guys.
What was your peak Cage?
And it was wasted. Yeah, so cagiest moment, peak Cage, for me, was when Buddy King tries to kill him, and he yells, "You're trying to fucking kill me!" And then turns around and starts karate chopping. That's my cagiest moment.
My Pete Cage, this is one movie where like there weren't a lot of spots to choose from. I just whatever. This movie sucked. My favorite part is not even really because of him. It's with that Maybelline hair. Just when he had that beautiful, beautiful mane going, when he's just knocking the shit out of Buddy.
Yeah. Okay.
He looked gorgeous.
I'll accept that. Okay.
Hey.
So what do you think made Nic Cage choose this film, though? Like, what made him choose? Well, is it just because... This isn't the same director, by the way.
Eddie King.
Chris Coppola did not direct this movie. It was a whole different guy, and I forget like what else he's done, but I don't know.
But this had to be in the same vein as Deadfall because it's got the same character name.
Yeah.
Got the same...
Yeah, somebody watched Deadfall and then was like, hey, I got a movie that I want to write, and like, let's just bring you into it. What does Arsenal mean? Like, what does the title of this movie mean? Is it because... Like, he had one gun and a flashbang grenade. That's not an arsenal. Who had the arsenal?
It belongs up the director's arsenal, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you can shove it up his arsenal. It made an arsenal of you and me.
Hey, Brock.
Is
Nic Cage a good actor?
A good actor? No. Nic Cage has stopped trying, everybody. I'm sorry.
You know what?
We've seen 2 movies from 2017. And, like, the thing is, it was probably this movie and Humanity Bureau. I don't know if they were filming at the same time. I don't know if they were... I mean, the wig probably belies how bad his hairline was in the Humanity Bureau. And technically, the Humanity Bureau was released after this. But, like, my God, he doesn't care anymore, you guys. He doesn't care.
I almost want to retract my vote on Deadfall because I still love that movie so much, but he wasn't. It's not because he was good. It's because of how over the top he was. So
yeah,
I agree, 100%. Still a bad actor. Again,
he's a bad actor.
We started at the bottom.
Why do we love him?
Now we're here.
Why does anybody love him? Why does anybody respect him? Why does anybody listen to what this man says or puts does?
Brock, we have 70 movies to watch, okay? We're watching the bad ones first.
I know.
This is affecting your opinion. But you have 70 more movies to determine if he's a good actor. But I agree. The new ones are especially bad. He's just not trying at all.
I'm gonna go rinse this taste out of my mouth.
So we're both
taste of fake blood and dick emesis.
Crotch shots.
Crotch shot. Yeah, not the kind of crotch shot that I want in my movies.
No, not Basic Instinct crotch shot. Crotch shots.
Crotch shots.
Brock,
that was my nickname in high
we
school.
are both 0 for 5. We need to tell people again, just get out there and rate us. Tell people about us.
So that you don't have to put in a stinger at the end.
Follow us on Twitter at We Gauge Cage Pod, and we are on Instagram as well.
We Gauge Kid Pod on the gram.
Mm-hmm. We had some nice pictures for Nic Cage's birthday that I encourage you all to go check out.
Yes, we did our best to recreate our Gauge faces. We got our Cage faces.
Next up, guys, is Ghost Rider 2. As Brock says, you say writer instead of rider.
I don't... What? I got a lazy tongue, man. Leave me alone.
You're perfect for a podcast.
I got a ghost. Yeah. People actually have approached me and said, you have a fucking awful voice. You should never, ever record it and put it on tape. So
they've said that?
Yeah. One time this woman came up to me and she said, hey, can I record your voice and play it for my 24-year-old son so that he never aspires to be like you?
And with that...
so we have we don't have Ghost Rider, though. We have Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
I said 2.
Well, it's not Ghost Rider 2. It's Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. You try to win on that nonsense. So don't do this.
I'm gonna
don't sell it
stop
short.
saying Ghost Rider because I don't want people to think I say that. I say Ghost Rider.
Ghost Ride her.
Ghost Rider.
Spirit of
people,
vengeance. I don't know how else to say it. I say what I say.
People, good luck with your balls.
Good luck with your balls.